Hi there, this is the AI Guy, the channel where we will show you how to use AI to optimize your life. Today, I will show you a few examples of how you can create recipes and food using AI. Here we have a few ways I will show you today to use AI to create very yummy and good recipes. The first one is stating what ingredients you have and then asking the AI tool to make your recipe. This is super easy if you have a bunch of things on hand but aren't sure what to make. You can just put this into the AI tool and it'll normally give you a pretty good result back. Next up, we have giving an example recipe and asking for a variation. This is nice for those times when you've made a recipe a million different times and just want to change it up a little bit. Third, we have saying who and what the recipe is for, and then asking for ideas. I've used this, for example, if I'm going to a party with some friends and want to make just a quick dip or something for that. It's really good just kind of explain what your use case is and then asking the tool for different ideas. Fourth up, we have dietary needs. So, for example, if you have a recipe and maybe you're gluten-free or your friend's gluten-free, it's a good way to make a recipe gluten-free so that they can also eat it. Fifth, we have calorie tracking. So if you're on a diet or just trying to be healthier, this is, you can tell the AI tool, hey, I only want each serving to be 400 calories and I want to have spaghetti. And then it can give you an example recipe and tell you how many calories are in each portion of that recipe. Six, we have ingredient substitution. So something that I did with this recently is there was a recipe calling for heavy cream and I didn't have it. I gave the recipe to the AI tool and said, hey, can we substitute out this heavy cream? And it did a great job, and the recipe ended up being very tasty. And lastly, and probably my favorite thing to do, is taking pictures of the food on hand and then asking an AI tool to make you a recipe. So I've done this before. I've just taken pictures of my fridge and maybe some stuff in my cabinets and just said, hey, this is what I have on hand. What can you make for me? This is super duper easy. You don't even have to type anything. Just take a simple picture. And it's a very quick way to try out some different food. Here's our first example of using an AI tool to generate recipes, which is giving it some ingredients that we have and then asking it to make us a recipe. So here we're saying you're a chef who excels at creating recipes. I've got some beef, red peppers, cheese, egg, milk, spices, and a few other things. Please make me a recipe using these ingredients, and it doesn't have to include all of them, but make sure this is easy to follow and concise. So we can put whatever ingredients we have in, hit enter, and then it gives us an example recipe. It looks like we've got a beef and vegetable stir fry with cheesy rice. So it looks to be that it used most of the ingredients that we had. And yeah, it gives a pretty easy recipe to follow. And so this is the first and pretty easy way that you can use AI to generate new recipes. So here we have our second example of giving a recipe and then asking for a slight variation. In this instance, we were wanting to make beef stroganoff, but we didn't have beef stew meat, and instead we had ground beef. So we're going to ask ChatGPT to make this slight adjustment for us. So you can see originally we had 2 pounds of beef stew meat. It looks like now it's just recommending 1 pound of ground beef, and other than that, most ingredients are staying the same. Looks like down here it even gave us some instructions on how to make this, which is pretty nice. It's just another example of an easy way you can get around not having an ingredient on hand. Next up is an example of where we are saying who and what the recipe is for, and then asking for ideas. So here we're saying we're a young adult who wants to make a dip for our friends at the party watching the game this weekend, and we just want 3 different recipe ideas. So it looks like it gives us a buffalo chicken dip, guacamole, spinach and artichoke dip, and then from here we could choose which one we want and ask it what specific ingredients we would need. So here we have an example of how we could use AI to help meet some dietary needs that we have. So here we are wanting to make some chocolate chip cookies, but one of our friends is gluten-free, so we have to adjust this recipe a bit. So we asked ChatGPT to do that for us. So we input that, hit enter here, and then they've adjusted the recipe for someone who is gluten-free. So rather than using that just all-purpose flour, it's suggesting some gluten-free flour and also gluten-free chocolate chips. So this is an easy way to make sure that you can meet all the dietary needs of yourself and others. So this is an example where maybe we are calorie tracking or just trying to eat a bit healthier. Here maybe we would really want to eat some lasagna as it sounds really good, but we want to make sure that it's less than 350 calories per serving. So we asked ChatGPT to make this for us and tell us how many calories each ingredient would account for. So we hit enter there, and then you can see it brings back a recipe for us with the typical things in lasagna, lasagna noodles, cheese, turkey, etc. And it tells us how many calories per serving would be in each thing too. So a great way if you're trying to lose some weight or just make sure you're eating healthy to do that and still get to eat the food that you enjoy. So this is an example of how we can use AI to substitute an ingredient that we might not have. This recipe is from the kitchen, and we're wanting to make some biscuits, but they call for heavy whipping cream, which we don't have. So we're asking the AI tool to show us how we could still make this recipe. So it's saying here that if you don't have heavy whipping cream on hand, there's a few different alternatives that you can use. Milk and butter, it's telling you how much you should use. Buttermilk, half and half, sour cream, Greek yogurt. So giving you a few great examples of how you could substitute out this heavy whipping cream for something else. So just for your guys' context, this is the pictures I submitted to ChatGPT for the last tip that we had, taking pictures and asking an AI tool to make a recipe. So on the left, you can see I had some egg noodles, some broth, mac and cheese, popcorn, rice, a couple other small things. On the right, I had some eggs, milk, orange juice, lettuce, yogurt, strawberries, carrots, I think that's celery in the bottom right, some butter. So this is the pictures I submitted, just so you guys know, and we can see what recipes it makes from here. So this is the last and probably my favorite example of how to use AI to make recipes. So here I've attached the two images that I was showing you guys before, and I've put in a short prompt here saying you're a chef who's good at making easy recipes at home. I have these ingredients in my fridge and a few other things like spices, beef, and chicken. Please recommend me 3 easy recipes I can make this week. So here you can see chicken Alfredo pasta, just using those egg noodles I had, some milk, shredded cheese, kind of a basic one there. But then this one has beef. We did have carrots and lettuce in the fridge, so it's good that it called that out. And then lastly, we have another chicken and veggie soup. I did have chicken broth, and again, I had egg noodles, along with the carrots and celery. So it looks like this did a good job of figuring out what exactly is in those images and giving us some recipes that we can make throughout the week. So hopefully you enjoyed learning about a few ways you can use AI to make you some new recipes. And here we have a few key things to remember when you're doing this. First up is if you are going to input images, you'll likely need to create an account. For example, on ChatGPT, you can't input images unless you actually have created an account. So I'm not 100% sure if this applies to all tools, but I do know it applies to a few of them. Next up is specific instructions are better. Just saying, make me a recipe or something probably won't give you anything too useful. So saying what ingredients you have or what type of recipe you want is often much more efficient. Third is you can ask the tool to refer you to recipes online. Maybe you don't want the tool to make you a recipe on its own, but rather just want to, give you some ideas from other websites online. You can ask the tool to do this as well. And then lastly, just try it for yourself. A lot of these things I was just kind of curious and tried on my own with these AI tools and found them to be pretty useful. So try out some different things and let us know in the comments if you found anything to be interesting. Thank you for watching this video today on using AI to create some new and interesting recipes. The AI Guy is your host for videos on using AI in your daily life. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.